With James Gunn's Superman coming in theaters next month, I wanted to talk about the last Superman we got on big screen, Zack Snyder's Superman. More specifically, I want to talk about what exactly went wrong with that version of Superman, what fundamental characteristics was missing from that iteration, and how even in a great science fiction movie, the essence of a superhero was missing. Now, before everything, I want to clear that I really liked Man of Steel. As a matter of fact, the action sequences of that movie is still one of my favorites till this day. Tight, yeah! But that's exactly what this was. This was a great science fiction movie with great visuals and fights, but it was missing the most important part of a Superman movie: inspiration, hope. The way I see it, every superhero has a core. Batman tries to heal the world even though he is broken. Spider-Man always gets up no matter how badly he fell. Cap is the symbol of justice. You can show these characters in any story you want, but this core characteristics is the integral part of those characters, which you just can't tamper with. So what's the core of Superman? For me, that's hope, inspiration and joy. Superman is just a guy that wants to save people. Even though every cynical eyes sees the potential Homelander in him, he still keeps saving people with a smile. He shows us that even in a corrupted world, you can be the good guy, but not in a brooding, dark Batman way, but instead with a hint of joy that will bring a smile to your face. There's a reason Superman is thought to be the superhero. Sure, there's many characters that came and even become more popular over the years, but the concept of Superman is so pure and authentic that he has always been the superhero. Having said that, for almost the last 2 decades, if you ask a kid who is their favorite superhero, there's a very high chance they won't mention Superman. It's not like you won't find any, but the numbers will clearly tell you Superman is not making the same impact on pop culture as it once did so well. With the arrival of MCU, X-Men, Spider-Man, and of course the Dark Knight trilogy, people were finding new favorites practically every new day. Not that it's a bad thing, it allowed audiences to see more stories, each different from one another, exploring different aspects of life. But one character was unfortunately missing from the rise of the superhero genre, the guy that started it all, Superman. So what was the reason? Superman also got 2 adaptations on big screen in that period, the more famous one being Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. But that movie was clearly failing to put Superman in the hearts of audiences. And when I ask myself why did this movie fail, in my limited knowledge I only find one answer. It wasn't true to the character. Zack Snyder tried to adapt Superman for the modern times that's filled with moral dilemma and darkness, but while doing so he compromised with the character's core. Superman in Man of Steel is a god that has to live among men and adjust. We don't see him enjoying his childhood, instead we see him struggling to control his power. We see him not connecting with people. His adoptive parents doesn't teach him to love humanity, instead constantly reminds him that humanity will not accept it. Even criticizing him for using his power to save someone. With the kind of childhood this movie shows, this could have easily been an origin movie for a Homelander kind of character. There's not a single scene where Superman is enjoying his life in the farm with his parents. And that brings us to another flaw of this character, Clark Kent. If you noticed, I haven't addressed Superman as Clark even once in this video. Mostly because I wanted to talk about him in this portion, and also because Clark Kent part of Superman mostly gets forgotten. People forget Clark Kent is Superman. The kid that came to Earth, lived his life, fell in love with humans is Clark Kent. Superman is just a cover. Just like Peter Parker. But in this case, we also give Peter the due importance just like we give Spider-Man. Because movies did that. But in Man of Steel, there's practically no Clark Kent. This movie sees this character as Superman with godly powers. His parents sees him as that. This world sees him as that. And eventually, Clark also sees himself as that. The irony is, this is exactly the way Lex Luthor sees Superman. A god that has descended on Earth and we must deal with it. In Man of Steel, Clark is an afterthought. In this movie, Clark Kent is the cover. And all of these things lead to the main problem of this film. There's no joy. No inspiration, no hope. Superman in this movie doesn't even feel like he loves humanity. He is just saving people because that's his duty. Before feeling inspired, you feel fear that this Superman can break anytime and decide it's useless to help such ungrateful humans. Before feeling hope that humanity is still good, it can be good, you constantly see humanity is shit. And joy? The fact that you rarely see Superman smiling should tell you the story. A Superman movie is supposed to make you hopeful, inspire you to do good things, not make you feel what the hell is wrong with humanity. That's the job of a Batman movie. Zack Snyder took what made Superman special and made him another depressed, morally complicated character. If you don't understand what that means, just imagine a Batman movie where colors are popping like crazy and Batman cracks a joke in every 2 minutes. How weird that would be. How many people will say Batman is their favorite character after that movie? Or will they say it's just a poor imitation of Iron Man? Trying to adapt a comic book character for modern times and taking creative liberty is not wrong. Just look at Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. It doesn't have the same aesthetic as comic book Gotham or crazy supernatural villains, but it got the core of Batman lore correct. It is filled with psychotic people. Man of Steel is not a bad movie. In fact, it's a great one. But the character Zack Snyder decided to make it with was definitely the wrong choice. So at the end of the day, it just became a bad adaptation of Superman. With the new Superman coming, I can only hope James Gunn will learn from the mistakes of Zack Snyder and will deliver a movie that will be befitting of Superman. And hopefully Superman will once again regain his position as